everything changed in a matter of seconds. Seriously, think about it. The final whistle blows, the stadium empties out, and suddenly the chilling reality of a closing championship window just instantly sets in. Welcome to this NFL Nexus explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the microscopic decisions, the agonizing gambles, and the ruthless calculus of building a Super Bowl caliber roster. This isn't just about football anymore. No, this is about survival in literally the most unforgiving league in the entire world.
So you really have to ask yourself, what is the price of one final ring? I want you to consider the absolute monumental stakes of this specific moment in time. You've got a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers, an absolute all-time great, a surefire first-ballot Hall of Famer, and he is returning for what is universally expected to be the final season of a legendary NFL career. And let's be honest, the 2025 campaign, it was an absolute roller coaster. We're talking about a hard-fought 10-7 finish, a grueling black and blue AFC North title that quite literally pushed this roster to its absolute physical limits. But then it all came crashing down in a devastating home playoff loss to the Houston Texans. That loss, it left scars. It completely exposed the absolute thinnest parts of the depth chart. So now, the clock isn't just ticking, it's deafening. You know as well as I do that a 42-year-old body just does not recover the way it used to. One wrong hit, one blown assignment up front, and the dream is entirely over. Every single dollar, every single roster spot, every single snap in training camp now carries the crushing weight of franchise history.
And because of those incredibly high stakes, General Manager Omar finds himself walking into a 2026 offseason that can only really be described as a high-stakes chess match. I mean, there is absolutely zero margin for error here. A single bad move, one miscalculation, and it could bring the entire structure crashing down. His dual mission is terrifyingly clear, yet incredibly complex to actually execute. Number 1, protect the legend under center. And number 2, find the hidden gems that can turn a very good defense into a truly suffocating one. We're talking about the smallest details, the absolute razor-thin margins of player acquisition, the intense, agonizing medical evaluations, and those late-round draft flyers. These are the precise things that will dictate NFL life or death for the Pittsburgh Steelers this coming season.
Part 1. Protecting the legend. Okay, to truly understand the sheer gravity of the situation here, we actually have to transition away from the bright spotlight of the skill positions and step right down into the trenches. Because as we all know, games are won and lost in the dirt, the sweat, and the brutal physical combat of the offensive line. And right now, there is a silent crisis unfolding on the edge of the Steelers' front five. A crisis that actively threatens to leave a 42-year-old quarterback entirely exposed to the most terrifying edge rushers in the league. You have this terrifying uncertainty weighing down the scales at the right tackle position. Look at it. On one side, you have the immense talent and first-round pedigree of Broderick Jones, but his physical status is completely suspended in the air. Then, on the other side, you have Max Ihanachor, a rookie who has this raw, unbridled power, but absolutely zero actual NFL experience. Think about that. When your entire season relies on a quarterback who simply cannot afford to take a blindside or even a frontside hit, heading into week 1 with a choice between severe medical uncertainty and absolute rookie inexperience, man, that is a gamble that keeps front offices wide awake at night. Let's examine the grim medical reality of the Broderick Jones situation, because we need to understand exactly what we're dealing with here. Spinal fusion surgery. I mean, those are 3 words you literally never ever want associated with a franchise left or right tackle. The timeline for his return is entirely unknown. We aren't talking about a sprained ankle or a hyperextended knee that you can just tape up. This involves the fundamental structural integrity of a massive athlete's back. Just think about what an offensive tackle has to do on every single snap of a game. They have to drop back and anchor against 280-pound defensive ends who are running at full speed. They have to bend at the waist, absorb incredibly violent collisions, and torque their spine repeatedly to seal the edge. A spinal fusion fundamentally alters those mechanics. A setback here doesn't just sideline a player for a few weeks, it fundamentally derails the entire 2026 offensive strategy. The sheer panic this lack of proven depth causes inside a building is palpable. The front office knows they need a veteran insurance policy, and they need it immediately before the market completely dries up.
363. I just want to let that massive number hang in the air for a second. 363 pounds. Standing at a towering 6'7", this is the visual reality of veteran offensive tackle Mekhi Becton. He is a literal mountain of a man. When you are desperate to build a human wall to protect Aaron Rodgers, you look for bodies that can basically eclipse the sun, right? You look for humans who can simply engulf oncoming defenders. But as you might guess, signing a man of this absolute magnitude is never as simple as it seems on the surface. Because the Becton gamble is fraught with extreme danger. He was released by the Chargers in March, right before free agency, and Becton carries this cascading, exhaustive injury history that requires a really deep dive. We're talking extensive knee and hand issues dating all the way back to his pretty tumultuous 4-year stint with the New York Jets. Think about the physics here. When a man is carrying 363 pounds, any instability in the knee joint is essentially a ticking time bomb for his career. Then you add a 2025 concussion to the mix, along with the fact that he completely failed to fit into the Chargers' highly mobile, zone-blocking offensive scheme. They needed him to move laterally, to constantly reach the second level, and his body simply couldn't execute those demands on a consistent basis. So bringing him into the Steelers' locker room, it's a massive roll of the dice. Will his massive frame actually hold up, or will he just become another tragic casualty of the NFL trenches? But let's actually look at the anatomy of this potential deal and see how the numbers might actually build a highly compelling case for Omar Khan to pull the trigger. Because despite that grueling medical history we just laid out, Becton managed to start 14 out of 15 games in 2025. That is huge. That proves recent, tangible durability in a ridiculously violent league. And then you look at the financial calculus, which is incredibly favorable for Pittsburgh. We're talking about a minimal 1-year contract projecting at roughly $2 to $3 million. For a team needing desperate veteran insurance, this secures a massive asset capable of completely overpowering defenders in a downhill, gap-blocking ground attack. It's cheap. Sure, it's incredibly high risk, but the reward? The reward is an impenetrable right side that allows Aaron Rodgers to step up in the pocket with absolute confidence. Part 2. The Hidden Assassin. Now, protecting the quarterback is really only half the battle. We now need to shift our focus away from the slow, massive collisions of the offensive line and move all the way out to the explosive, high-speed geometry of the secondary. Because to win the AFC North, you don't just need size. You need violence. You need raw speed. You need a hidden assassin capable of erasing mistakes in the literal blink of an eye. 4.32. From the 363-pound weight of Becton, we're doing a bit of visual whiplash here. 4.32 seconds in the 40-yard dash. This is a freakish, terrifying blur of speed. This number belongs to Robert Spears Jennings, the Steelers' 7th-round draft pick. Speed like this completely changes the math on a football field. It magically closes throwing windows that quarterbacks thought were wide open. It allows a defender to arrive at the ball with incredibly bad intentions before the receiver even has a chance to secure the catch and brace for the impact. So let's slowly unravel the microscopic details of this 7th-round profile, because frankly, this is where championships are secretly built. We're looking at a 4-year defender for the Oklahoma Sooners, a guy who survived and thrived in the wide-open, pass-heavy Big 12 conference, a solid 2-year starter, but more importantly, a team captain as a senior. You really have to understand you do not get that C-patch stitched on your chest at a major program like Oklahoma unless you possess elite leadership and an absolutely unparalleled work ethic in both the film room and the weight room. He enters the league with an NFL-ready frame, a raw aggression that just jumps right off the tape, and a tantalizing upside that has the front office quietly believing they may have struck absolute gold at the very bottom of the draft board.
Part 3. Anatomy of a Steal.
But how does a 7th-round flyer actually evolve into a true NFL weapon? Well, this is the anatomy of a steal. We are going to take a deep, intense dive into the analytics right now to project exactly what Spears Jennings could become if the Steelers manage to unlock his full potential. We don't just look at flashy highlights here. We look at the cold, hard data. And we can look right to an AFC North rival for the blueprint of the absolute best-case scenario. Cleveland Browns safety Grant Delpit. Look at these exact 2025 metrics. A staggeringly low missed tackle rate of just 11.1%. Do you know what that means? It means when he gets his hands on you, the play is over. Done. He logged over 300 brutal snaps lined up directly in the box, playing essentially like an extra linebacker to stop the run. And in coverage, he allowed just 42 receptions on 61 targets, which is a 69% completion rate. In today's pass-happy NFL, holding opposing passing games to that metric is massive. It forces crucial third-down punts. It limits the explosive plays that flip field position. Delpit has become a complete weapon. If Spears Jennings can mirror this analytical profile, the Steelers don't just have a backup, they have a blossoming superstar on their hands. Now compare their physical frames, because this is exactly where the projection begins. Spears Jennings stands 6'1" at 205 pounds, which, yeah, is slightly smaller than Delpit's 6'3", 210-pound frame. But functionally, they are very similar. The physical benchmark is absolutely there. But let's be very, very clear about something. Raw college athleticism and a solid frame are simply not enough to survive in the NFL.
The speed of the program isn't just about how fast your legs run. It's about how fast your brain processes information. To become a 5-year starter like Delpit, Spears-Jennings must violently refine his technique. He has to learn advanced anticipation. He must learn to read the quarterback's eyes, completely dissect the offensive formation pre-snap, and react to the geometry of the route in fractions of a second. Because if he relies solely on that 4.32 speed, I guarantee you veteran quarterbacks will manipulate him entirely. So if Delpit represents the absolute ceiling, what is the realistic day one expectation? For that, we pivot to Isaiah Polamalu of the Las Vegas Raiders. Look intensely at his exact snap count distribution from 2025, because this shows you exactly what a modern NFL defense requires from its safeties. 700 snaps at the traditional free safety spot, playing that deep coverage. 250 snaps operating as an enforcer down in the box, literally taking on pulling guards. And another 102 snaps down in the slot, covering those quick, shifty receivers. This paints a picture of ultimate defensive versatility. A modern defense absolutely demands players who can disguise their intentions pre-snap, rotate on the fly, and essentially play 3 entirely different positions on a single, exhausting 12-play drive. And this right here is the realistic ceiling for our 7th-round pick. Spears-Jennings and Polamalu share a similarly strong, dense 205-pound physique that is purpose-built to absorb punishment. But it's Spears-Jennings' explosive, downhill speed, that terrifying 4.32 velocity we talked about, that makes him the perfect run-supporting box safety. If he can just replicate Polamalu's role, effectively dropping back into deep half coverage when he's needed, but primarily exploding toward the ball carrier in the run game to eliminate gains at the line of scrimmage, he will instantly become a highly critical, heavily utilized piece of the Steelers' defensive puzzle. Part 4. The final pieces. All right, so we've analyzed the granular details, we've looked at the medical histories, the minimum contracts, the blazing 40-yard dash times, the exact snap counts. Now we have to zoom out to the macro level. How do these individual, highly specific gambles actually connect to the ruthless, high-stakes arms race of the AFC North? Well, every move is a counter-move. Every single inch of depth is a vital buffer against the inevitable catastrophe of a grueling 17-game NFL season. For a 7th-round rookie like Spears-Jennings, the path to seeing the field is grueling. It starts in the shadows. He cannot just step in and play safety on day one. He must first weaponize his 4.32 speed on special teams, becoming a fearless headhunter on kickoffs and punt coverage. He has to prove to the coaches that he's willing to do the dirty work. Only by surviving that violent gauntlet will he earn the coaching staff's trust and earn the right to fill the ever-elusive secondary depth the Steelers so desperately crave. If everything comes together, a late-round flyer seamlessly transforms into a season-saving defensive asset. And flashing back over to the other side of the ball, just look at this young, projected starting offensive line. You've got Troy Fautuno at left tackle, Mason McCormick at left guard, Zach Frazier at center, Spencer Anderson or Brock Hoffman at right tackle. Let that sink in for a second. It is incredibly young. It is highly talented, yes, absolutely, but it is inherently vulnerable. They simply do not have the thousands of live game reps required to immediately recognize every single exotic blitz package a veteran defensive coordinator is going to throw at them. This drives home exactly why securing a massive, battle-tested veteran insurance policy like Mekhi Becton at right tackle is so unbelievably paramount. He has seen the blitzes. He knows the speed of the game. He could be the ultimate shield for Aaron Rodgers when those rookie mistakes inevitably happen. You simply do not leave a 42-year-old legend's health and the fate of the entire franchise to chance. A high-stakes chess match for one final ring. That quote perfectly summarizes Omar Khan's reality right now. The margin for error is razor thin. Championship rosters, the ones that are actually hoisting the Lombardi Trophy in February, are not just built in the glamorous first round of the NFL draft. No, they are built on the absolute margins. They are built on $2 million veteran flyers who have a massive chip on their shoulder. They are built on 7th-round rookies who flat out refuse to be cut in training camp. It is a grueling, agonizing puzzle of salary caps, medical evaluations, and pure, unfiltered gut instinct. So the ultimate question remains hanging in the air. Will Khan make the right move before the clock runs out? The season is quickly approaching. The immense pressure is mounting with every single passing day. The championship window with Aaron Rodgers is closing, and it's closing fast. In the NFL, the game isn't over until the final whistle blows. And let me tell you, the offseason is absolutely no different. One final calculated move could be the exact difference between a championship parade and a total franchise collapse. Now it's your turn to step into the war room and make a move. Join the front office. Subscribe to NFL Nexus, hit the like button on this explainer, and comment down below on what you think Omar Khan's exact next move should be. Do they immediately sign Becton? Or do they trust the inexperienced rookie? Let us know your strategy in the comments. And to truly support the channel and get exclusive deep dives just like this one, become a channel member today. We will see you all in the next breakdown.